Margaret Julia Marlo Thomas, born November 21, 1937, is an American actress, producer, author, and social activist who has made significant contributions to television, theater, and philanthropy over her six-decade career. Born in Detroit, Michigan, and raised primarily in Los Angeles, she is the daughter of entertainer Danny Thomas and former singer Rose Marie Casanidi. Her heritage is Lebanese-American on her father's side and Sicilian-American on her mother's side. She was raised Catholic and grew up surrounded by show business, with actress Loretta Young as her godmother. She has two siblings, Terry Thomas and Tony Thomas, both of whom also worked in entertainment-related fields. Thomas attended Marymount High School in Los Angeles and later studied at the University of Southern California, graduating in 1959 with a teaching degree. During college, she joined the Kappa Alpha Theta sorority. Although her father initially hoped she would pursue a more traditional career, she was drawn to acting and gradually built a career in television and theater, eventually becoming one of the most recognizable actresses of her generation. Her breakthrough came with the television series That Girl, which aired from 1966 to 1971. In the show, she starred as Anne Marie, a young, independent, single woman pursuing an acting career in New York City. The character was groundbreaking as one of the first depictions on American television of a single woman living on her own, not defined by marriage or family life. Behind the scenes, Thomas also served as the show's executive producer, though this role was not widely known at the time. For her work on That Girl, she won a Golden Globe and received multiple Emmy nominations. In the early 1970s, Thomas created one of her most influential projects, Free to Be, You and Me. First released as an album in 1972 and later adapted into a television special in 1974, it promoted messages of gender equality, emotional openness, and individuality for children. The project assembled a prominent group of performers and writers and became a landmark of feminist and progressive children's entertainment, earning both Emmy and Grammy Awards and leaving a lasting cultural legacy. Beyond That Girl and Free to Be, You and Me, Thomas has had a long and varied acting career in film, television, and theater. On television, she appeared in projects such as the TV movies Nobody's Child, for which she won an Emmy for Best Dramatic Actress, and Consenting Adult, as well as guest and recurring roles on series including Friends, Law & Order SVU, and Ugly Betty. In film, she appeared in movies such as Ocean's 8. On stage, she performed in the London production of Barefoot in the Park and later appeared on Broadway in plays including Social Security and the anthology production Relatively Speaking, as well as off-Broadway in Clever Little Lies. Parallel to her entertainment work, Thomas has been deeply engaged in advocacy and philanthropy. She has played a central role in the life of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which was founded by her father in 1962. As National Outreach Director, she has worked for decades to raise funds and awareness for pediatric cancer research and treatment. In 2004, she helped launch the Thanks and Giving campaign, a national fundraising effort benefiting St. Jude. And in 2014, the Marlo Thomas Center for Global Education and Collaboration at St. Jude was named in her honor. Thomas is also a prominent advocate for women's rights and social equality. She was involved in co-founding the Ms. Foundation for Women and helped develop Take Our Daughters to Work Day, an initiative designed to empower girls by exposing them to workplace environments and career possibilities. Over the years, she has remained publicly associated with feminist causes, supported campaigns against bullying, and maintained close friendships with leading feminist figures, including Gloria Steinem. In addition to acting and activism, Thomas has authored several books. These include Free to Be, You and Me, and Free to Be, A Family, which extend the themes of her groundbreaking children's project. She also wrote The Right Words at the Right Time and its follow-up volume, collections of inspirational stories about pivotal moments in people's lives, as well as Thanks and Giving, All Year Long, which ties into her work with St. Jude. Her memoir, Growing Up Laughing, My Story and the Story of Funny, reflects on her childhood in a show business family and on the nature of comedy. Another book, It Ain't Over Till It's Over, focuses on women reinventing their lives later in life. In her personal life, Thomas met television host Phil Donahue when she appeared on his talk show. The two married on May 21, 1980. Though Thomas did not have biological children, she embraced her role as stepmother to Donahue's 5 children from his previous marriage. The couple made their home primarily in New York City, where Thomas remains active in both entertainment and philanthropic circles. She is known to keep a close-knit social circle that includes figures from media, politics, and activism. Over the years, Thomas has received numerous honors recognizing both her artistic achievements and her social impact. These include multiple Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe, a Grammy, and a George Foster Peabody Award. In 1992, she received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 2014, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama, one of the highest civilian honors in the United States, in recognition of her work with St. Jude and her broader contributions to children, women, and families. She has also been inducted into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame and has received distinctions such as the Ellis Island Medal of Honor and the Untold Pathway to Excellence Award. Behind the public accolades are numerous lesser-known details that illustrate the arc of her life and career. As a child, she was nicknamed Margot by her parents, but her mispronunciation of the name evolved into Marlo, which ultimately became her professional name. At one point, she was considered for the lead role in The Mary Tyler Moore Show, but chose not to take it. Her quiet role as executive producer of That Girl was unusual for a woman at the time and positioned her as a pioneer in asserting creative control over her work. Her decision to create Free to Be, You and Me grew from her dissatisfaction with the rigid gender stereotypes she saw in children's media and educational materials. Throughout her later years, Thomas has continued to work, make public appearances, and support charitable causes. She remains closely involved with St. Jude fundraising and outreach efforts, maintaining and expanding the legacy begun by her father. In her 8th decade, she continues to be active in both creative and humanitarian endeavors, widely regarded as an iconic figure whose career bridges classic television, modern feminist advocacy, and sustained hands-on philanthropy dedicated to children's health and women's equality.